Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Nerd Soup. I am Reuben, joined here today with Aaron, and we are back to review Invincible Season 3, Episode 4. But before we get into today's episode, I want to let you guys know that you can listen to this wherever you get your podcasts, all podcasting platforms, and check out our Patreon page if you want to listen to more Nerd Soup. And give us a follow on social medias, at Nerd Soup, at Beau Soup, at Nerd Soup Monkey. Aaron, how are you doing? You excited to get back into Invincible? Did you remember that Invincible was a show that comes out?
Well, I completely forgot to watch the second half of last season. So when you were like, catch up on Invincible so we can record, I'm like, yeah, we got to knock that shit out in a couple hours. I'm like, nope, I got actually 7 episodes. So, but it is a show I do enjoy. So it is fun getting back into it. Actually, it kind of helped, I think, having those episodes banked, because kind of annoying going 4 at a time, but I got a nice little treat. I got 7.
I was on my Invincible shit doing it by myself, getting my ass kicked.
It is so funny. He just, no matter how hard he trains, he just always finds a way to get his ass beat.
Well, somebody made a point that he holds back.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
I think we saw that with this episode with the Immortal. By the way, like, had fucking centuries to train and still just gets washed. He might be the most useless character ever.
Can't govern, can't fight. What are you good for? Seems like he's great in bed.
Are we even sure about that?
Had hundreds of wives, none of them satisfied.
Couldn't wait to all die. But I've really enjoyed the season so far, especially everything going on between Mark and Cecil.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet that pissed me off. It didn't really piss me off, but...
Oh, they were hating on Cecil.
He's the best character in the show.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Like, I love me some Cecil. So that was fun. Although Mark was kind of being a little bitch about the whole thing. He's just all like, yeah, put him in jail, throw away the keys. And Cecil's all like, no, but rehabilitation, you know, we could take these prisoners, people who did it wrong, and make them functioning members of society. And Mark's all like, yeah, but you see recidivism rates are out of control. It's not going to work, Cecil. And Cecil's all like, yeah, but recidivism rates are only high because for-profit prison systems keep people incarcerated instead of rehabilitating, all on the taxpayer's dime.
See, I didn't talk about any of this when I did it, so.
Yeah, and Mark's like, chill, all my donors are pro-prison. So it was a real messy situation going on. But I think with everything, there's kind of like some give and take. You could see where Cecil came from, especially with that little prequel episode opening to show his perspective on things. And Mark, you know, we forget he's still a kid. And wants to do right. And I think he's quickly learning that there is such a fine line between doing right and what he perceives to be wrong. And he is a bit of a hypocrite, what Cecil called out with his father. He's basically, yeah, we can't rehabilitate these people because, you know, Darkwing killed people and everything that happened on with my friends, like, it's personal to him. But when it's his father, it's like, no, we'll bring him back and everything will be dandy again.
Yeah, no, I mean, the fight between them was awesome, like seeing it actually play out. But then the arguments between them were also, you know, it was interesting because of what they have in store. So you can understand Cecil. You can also understand Mark.
Yeah, it's one of those arguments where, like, you can see both sides, but for Mark, it's kind of, I don't want to say naive about the situation, but this is all very new to him and he is still young. Where on the flip side, Cecil, you know, been there, done that over the years, kind of hardened him to maybe not see a different perspective of someone with that kind of brighter outlook. So it's a nice kind of back and forth between them. And also everything with Mark and Oliver, I've enjoyed so far. I don't know if you've touched upon it, but like, Oliver got to be like a little serial killer, right?
Yeah, no. I said I was very scared. I was scared of Oliver. And that if I mentioned what I thought he was going to do, the channel might be flagged.
Like what? Oh, geez. Yeah. Okay. Cut that out.
I'll keep that in, though.
So I think the initial setup was definitely pretty strong in like a story regard. It's one of those shows where I do think the break does hurt it a lot, but I think once you jump back in, you kind of, once you get off the initial like, wait, what happened? They're very thorough with their recaps, so I'll give them props on that. But like, once you kind of settle into the new season and get where the story's going and kind of piece things together that happened 3 years ago, it is very enjoyable.
Dude, no joke. Every time I watch a recap or going into Invincible, I'm like, oh, Invincible's back. Took a while. And then I watched the recap and I'm like, I forgot how much I love this show.
I'm very bad at remembering things from season to season if I wait a long time to watch it. So when I turned on season 3, episode 1, I was watching a recap and I'm like, all right, I know I forget a lot of things, but I can almost guarantee I've never seen this before. And that's when I realized I didn't watch the last few episodes of season 2.
That would have been really bad.
It's happened before where I'm like, I need to like see somebody.
Well, to your point about Mark being a little naive, because I definitely agree with that, especially with the power of the Viltrumites. Somebody chalked it up as an army of supermen. But I think maybe in episode 4, that was a bit of a lesson for Mark, because when he comes back from that experience with Immortal, the first thing he asks Eve is, am I a bad person? So maybe this kind of... And some people have made the point that they're tired of the back and forth between Mark and Cecil. This sort of will they, won't they, similar to him and Adam Eve. Will he work for Cecil? But maybe this episode 4 was a lesson in, you do need to listen to other people, that you can't handle everything by yourself. And that if you keep going down this road, right now you're a righteous hero. Eventually you could become Emperor of the World who abandons Earth and Immortal goes crazy and it all goes to shit. So I think maybe this episode 4, and it felt very comic-y where you get like one story and then another story, 2 stories of the week that both develop characters. The second one kind of pushes the narrative forward concerning Omni-Man. Maybe that's, that serves as a lesson for Mark.
Yeah, I think he's, it's a tough thing to deal with. It's better than his reaction is more normal than like, let's say Oliver, who's definitely much, I don't know if if you've seen like some of the Damian Wayne comics or movies, he kind of has that approach.
Oh, yeah.
Or even like a little Jason Todd too, where, if you killed the Joker, none of it all would end, and that's kind of his perspective. And I don't think he's fully gone yet, but it's something where I think he's trying so hard to be what in his mind is a good person that it's going to be hard to kind of stay the course, especially where, the story looks where the story looks to be heading to be righteous, but also do what in the grand scheme of things is the right thing.
Yeah, and it was fun to get Zolo Mataduena doing the guest voices for Fight Master and Dropkick. I didn't even realize that was him in episode 1. Different world, and I mentioned this on the review I did that we see time travel in sci-fi all the time, but Invincible always uses time travel or the multiverse, whatever the tropes are of the genre, to really develop those characters and to give them a new perspective, really just shake up their psyche and how they're dealing with all this, the responsibilities of being in this world. That's why I thought this episode was, very effective. And time again, they've done these episodes of the week. And it was, they draw parallels between Immortal and Omni-Man because they're both these, these characters who have been living for centuries. Both cases, they want to be mercy killed. They both feel very responsible for the terrible things that they've done. The difference is that Omni-Man gets, it looks like he's going to get a second chance. I did enjoy the stuff with Immortal, but the Allen Omni-Man stuff may be the standout of the season so far, because I found that to be awesome. And I was critical of the fights in the first 3 episodes. I really enjoyed the fights with the Viltrumites.
Yeah, especially for you. You're a big fan of BBL, so you are a BBL, Battle Beast lover.
Dude.
So I'm sure you were jumping out your seat when he came out.
And I don't want anybody out there to think that's double entendre, because all natural for me, baby. But no, I love Battle Beast because you should
just got a fat ass.
Wait, what?
You should just get one. Just have a fucking complete dump truck. That'd be hilarious.
You're saying me?
Yeah.
BBL Beau?
Yeah.
BBL Reuben. BBL.
Look into it.
He... Yeah, no, I know some people. No, I don't. I actually don't. Anybody out there, that's a good thing about the channel. You ask for recommendations, and I'm going to have like 3 or 4 people in my DMs. I got to connect. He's a dentist too. You want him to look at your teeth? A lot cheaper. I know they're killing you up there. No, Battle Beast is just out there fucking killing to kill. He's just like, I always love characters like that. Like Thorkel and Vinland Saga. It doesn't matter what side of the battle he's on, as long as he gets to kill. And a great design, ferocious, big beast. And he is like a kitty, you almost want to give him pets.
I'll kill you for that. Is that a promise?
he is just like, I want to see him fight Omni-Man just because he looks like he's just indestructible.
No, he does.
And even Allen now. Allen's a problem. He might just be able to do it by himself. He's just toying with the fucking Viltrumites.
One of the reasons I love this show so much is that I'm just such a sucker for simple shit like this, where you have the man who wants to be taken out of his misery because of the terrible things he's done, and then Allen pretending like he's going to be killed, so Omni-Man has no choice but to save him, and thus proving that he cares about Allen, and that he cares about people that may be inferior to him in strength, that he still has that good heart inside of him. And then the team up, just seeing them be able to take on these Viltrumites together with some of the combo moves, and then the final finisher was gnarly.
Yeah.
That actually took my breath away, where I audibly responded to how gruesome it was. And I just love the idea of Battle Beast being this, wild card, that he's not going to formally ever join, because that's ridiculous. He doesn't believe in that. But it's gonna be whatever side convinces him that he can have a better time killing.
Yeah, but all that stuff was really cool. And yeah, I think like the comparison you made between him and Immortal. I think with Omni-Man, it's kind of, I don't know, it's interesting to see what he in his mind thinks he can do going forward to repair the relationships or amend what has happened. Because I honestly don't think it's going to be a situation where he just comes back and they live as a happy family again, but maybe more in a sacrificial role somewhere down the line. But it's good to see him back and kind of have some humanity, kind of that Omni-Man, even though it was all a facade, but that character we saw in season 1 with Mark and Debbie before he told us all that he considers Debbie a pet, but now he loves her. You can love your pets too, and miss your pets. So maybe he's still working on that, but it does seem that some of that humanity is coming back to him.
Yeah. I always think about him killing the Guardians and like, man, you really didn't have to do that. They weren't going to be able to stop you anyway. He really was just trying to kill his fucking humanity in season 1. And that's why I personally very much pity the character, especially now him being so remorseful and saving Allen, and Allen being that guy who's, who can see past all the terrible things Omni-Man did, pull that good superhero out of him once again. So, that's a great point that we're seeing the Omni-Man character as he presented himself, act as a hero, as Superman. And it looks like, just the geek in me, I love power scaling these characters, but he seems to be the strongest one. When he turns it on, he can basically beat anyone at this point. Because even, as I mentioned, he wanted to be put out of his misery. He was just letting the other Viltrumites kill him and beat him to death. So when he was able to break free, or when he wanted to break free, he did. But Allen being jacked is hysterical, because they really drew him to be yoked up. He's like a big-ass jacked fucking carrot. And then the reveal that, the Viltrumites aren't as strong as we thought, that there's only about 50 pure-blooded members, which means that, I don't know, does that mean Mark could never be as strong as them? That's interesting.
Maybe. Or Allen could probably just do the job by himself.
Yeah, Alan's like, wait a minute, why is this show called Invincible?
It should just go to Allen again.
Oh yeah, they did do that one time, right? He got the title card?
Yeah.
That's big time.
It is funny, the Viltrumite custom of killing you at your when you're healthy, only just to bound you again and beat the shit out of you.
They really got to make you sexy and then humble you. That is some psychological shit. That's fucking Patrick Bateman would love the Viltrumites. These are my people.
And I felt bad for the other prisoners who Allen set free to just immediately die.
Oh yeah, no, they got shot. Alan's like, oh, you guys aren't bulletproof? Oh shit.
That's the thing. You never know how strong characters are. Like, going back to the Immortal. Like, on paper, he should be like Superman, but he just gets fucking washed. When, like, a real fucking superpowered being steps up to him. Like, in comparison, all the other Guardians, or not the Guardians anymore, are just, like, nothing compared to Mark or Omni-Man.
It really is just Allen. I do hope they get the hot Viltrumite on their side, too. Maybe Adam Eve. Adam Eve might be who knows how strong Adam Eve is.
Well, on paper, she probably is. Yeah, the hot Viltrumite. No, I kind of like her. Like, that's kind of the appeal.
Yeah, good point. You know who'd be perfect in that live action role? Sasha Cayley, who played Supergirl in The Flash.
Yeah.
She's got that look.
Yeah, it's almost like they just based that off her.
Right. Yeah, and then doing the whole Superman doesn't kill thing They did that in season 2, going back to it now with him confronting a mortal in the future. So I think that could be a lesson as well, when he says to Oliver in those first 3 episodes, or in episode 3, that we never kill, no matter what. That sometimes killing is appropriate. This is a guy who would have been better off dead like 100 years before Mark got there. It's more of a case-by-case basis. You can't have these absolute positions, especially, in the role that Mark finds himself in. But yeah, no, Oliver, that was my biggest takeaway from the first 3, dude. I think his character, and the show does such a good job at this, where they introduce a character, an idea, and it's not the main point of the show, but it becomes so fascinating for the viewer. Of, in which direction is Oliver going to go? Because he becomes another huge wild card. When you're that powerful, when, you're not holding back, it's very dangerous. And it just seems like it's going to end in tragedy for somebody that Oliver loves. It's going to be one of those situations. Like, God forbid something happens to Debbie because of Oliver going too far. That would be devastating for everyone. What do you think of Paul? Do you trust Paul? Well, also, if you want to say anything about Oliver.
No, I think like you said, the way Debbie has like taken him in as her own in just such an unimaginable situation, to have either him die because he doesn't listen to Mark and tries to keep joining battles that eventually he joins the wrong one, or if he just turns into like somebody like Omni-Man, that's just heartbreaking for her. Even more so than Mark. She's just been such a strong character throughout these first 3 seasons with everything that's happened to her, and be able to keep it together and still find happiness. So anything that like hurts Debbie at this point is going to fucking destroy me.
Yeah. It's very easy to say that she's the heart of the show. It does feel like she's holding so many things together. It's like in Marvel or DC when that one character dies and everything goes to shit.
Who's the other character you asked about?
Oh, Debbie's the guy that Debbie
Paul.
is dating.
I think Paul is... I don't think he's a spy or anything. I just think he's biting off more than he can chew. Where he's just going to be the first casualty in a gruesome way. Probably right in front of Debbie's eyes.
I love the idea that you could be saying this and it's not even about the superheroes of Viltrumites, but it's just he can't handle Debbie. Debbie's just too much for him. It's too much woman for you, Paul.
I mean...
It's going to end gruesomely.
I mean, she's just a fucking Viltrumite, I don't think Paul's... It could. But who knows? Don't know the guy. But I put my money on he's not throwing it down like Omni-Man was.
Well, what did you also think about this idea of... The theories now are that Shrinking Ray is not actually Shrinking Ray.
She's like some Cecil plant?
Yeah.
I want to put it past him.
If it's not the actual Shrinking Ray and she's also trying to make this effort to be more normal... That's very sad.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Cecil, man. I don't know what he's up to. Because he can just, he could do some shit like that and just be like, well, I'm trying to save the world here. And you'd be like, okay. Okay, I guess so, Cecil.
Like, yeah, no, when you put it that way.
I don't really know. I think the relationship of her and Rex kind of budding is nice.
Yeah, it is.
And it always freaks me out. Because I always forget that Robot used Rex's body. And like when you see them stand next to each other, I feel like they don't bring that up enough.
No, I noticed it too in this episode. Every now and then I remember it. Same thing, dude. And I looked at them and I'm like, yo, they really do look alike. I always forget that. It's just so funny. It's just there.
That was funny when he was finishing his sentences with Robot. Mark just showing up to the Pentagon. And Cecil even said it. Because while he was doing it, I'm like, how much money is he costing them right now?
Yeah, Cecil said he committed treason.
It's like, well, yeah, we are spying on him, but that's not ours. I technically didn't lie to him. Who do you think is controlling that little camera?
I think it's Angstrom.
Yeah, because they flashed it at the end. I couldn't tell if it was Sterling K. Brown's voice or not. That's the one thing. It's like, let's just let Angstrom be gone, Same thing with the Sequids when it was in the apartment and took him over again. I don't need another Sequid invasion. That's like, we got some other villains. Let's do some other things here.
Yeah. I think that's a lot of criticisms have been focused on that, going back to the well for certain storylines, certain themes, and ideas. It feels a little like I used to get so by the end of My Hero, well, not the end, by where I left off. Whenever there was more Nomus, be like, no more Nomus. No more Nomus.
Yeah, it just seems they have so many other possibilities, so many different villain archetypes that they can do some other things, but we'll see who it is. What if it's just him with the bigger brain.
I mean, his brain was pretty big in season 2. That would be.
I know, but
I would have questions.
Each one is just a bigger and bigger brain.
Eventually, he's just going to be a giant sentient brain.
I guess you can make the argument all brains are sentient. You know?
Oh God, don't start this.
Ponder that.
Oh shit. No, I literally have a migraine now. It's that easy because I start thinking about that. Is it me or is it the brain? I don't know.
There's a tweet. It's like, there's a poll. It's like, what's the most important organ? And brain won. Somebody said brains pick themselves.
Oh yeah, clearly the brain. I always think about that. I'm like, who really is the most important? Let's not get into that.
I wonder what they were making. Why'd they go to the grocery store? What was she going to whip up?
It looked like she was doing a little healthy penne. Little zucchini penne.
Nah, I would be on Rex's side. Order a fucking pizza.
You sprinkle some feta on that. Ooh. I mean, if you have a fucking... That man said he got scurvy. That's crazy. If I could steal from a robot, I wouldn't hesitate. Meanwhile, I don't know who's giving a robot a credit card. That's the bank's fault.
Well, he's probably hacked into the banking system.
Right. That's true.
The taxpayers are getting fucked in this universe, man. They're getting screwed over left and right. Mark breaking all the Pentagon security fucking robots.
It's funny because Cecil, he's been on the job for years. I mean, it's very bipartisan support. The Senate just keeps confirming him.
Is there a president?
They haven't mentioned a president. They should make the president Flava Flav. That would be funny.
That would be. I'd vote for him.
He's very presidential, but he still has his catchphrases. Yeah, boy.
And the clock.
And the clock.
I would have voted for Flava third time if I could.
Yeah, but this was I enjoyed the end credits coming in at 30 minutes or whatever it was, because I was like, what
confused.
The fuck?
Yeah, that was fun how they used the narrator to kind of switch the vibe, because most of what we've gotten to prison so far has been in end credits, so that was pretty funny the way they played with that. And just made it half the episode. Yeah,
and it's something you would get in a comic book where we're going to really explore this part of the world right now. So here's backstory. That's how we're going to occupy your time.
Also, what was Thomas Jefferson cooking up that the ink of the Declaration of Independence could kill the immortal?
Of all the other shit that he could have been doing, and it didn't even work.
No, it didn't. It was probably just regular fucking ink. But for them to think, like, yeah, Thomas Jefferson definitely had that technology.
Well, maybe they thought, maybe they had a bit more faith in Ben Franklin. They're like, no, Franklin, with the electricity, maybe he snuck something in there. Because the other guys don't get enough credit for their contributions, you know?
Yeah, John Adams. Switch his bar up for him.
John Adams doesn't get enough love.
Yeah, while Ben Franklin and Thomas Jefferson were in France, they stumbled upon immortal killing ink. It was just red wine.
No, mercury.
It would be funny if that was his weakness. Too much fish. Mercury gets to the immortal.
Just had to fucking slip that man a tuna fish sandwich. He's toast. God, I need some tuna fish now. The sort of date night montage they did with Adam, Eve, and Mark, something I've been dying to see in a Superman movie between Lois and Clark, traveling the world, going to all these different spots, taking advantage of the fact that you can do this because you have superpowers. So I found that to be sweet. And then they finally, confessed that they love each other. We all knew that. Everybody in their lives knew it. So it's nice for them to finally get the chance to say it out loud. And then they get to, have some fun. Debbie knocking on the door. Come on, Mom. Mark should have put his mask on the door or something. Really looking forward to the rest of the season, especially that episode 6, because, when we talk about Mark, Debbie, and Nolan not having this happy ending, we're definitely getting a reunion. So that's going to be great to watch, regardless of how it ends. I can't imagine it's going to end. It's going to be bittersweet, but the reunion is mostly going to be very, very bitter. Because you have to imagine when Debbie sees him, the range of emotions she's going to experience are going to be overwhelming. Can't wait for that, and we will be back, of course, when that comes out, episode 5. Aaron, looking forward to reviewing episode 5 with you.
Okay, yeah. Me too.
I was going to say I hope you're alive next week, but I didn't even want to put that in the air.
Well, that makes 2 of us.
It's funny because when I saw the twins, the twin heroes voiced by my boy Solo, I was like, oh, one of them's going to die. When it's twins and superheroes,
yeah,
one always dies.
But they made it.
Blue Beetle's dead, but unfortunately.